2 years ago, I made the life-changing decision to move from my home country, South Africa, to the United Kingdom. Over those years, I have learned a lot of lessons about the world and about myself, and I wanted to share that with you in this video today. The first thing I learned is that you need to follow your own path and you shouldn't feel bad about it. Once I was taken out of my comfort zone and I wasn't with my friends and family 24/7 anymore. And I also think as I've gotten older, I've realized that every person has their own life path. And what you want out of life is not necessarily going to be in line with what the other people in your life want. The point is that you only have one life and you need to follow the path that you feel most drawn to. Even if that means that you will have to maybe leave other people behind or change your current lifestyle, your family will always be there for you and your true friends as well. The second thing I learned was that you have to be able to be content with your own company. Moving to a new country can be very lonely, and in South Africa I was a very social person. I was going out a lot. So moving here and not being surrounded by my friends and family all the time, it was a big adjustment. I decided to find some hobbies that I'm interested in to fill the time that I used to spend going out with new things that I also enjoy. Making YouTube videos is a good example of one of the hobbies that I have really committed to while living abroad. And I really enjoy the whole process of shooting the video and putting it together and sharing it with you guys. Obviously, everyone will have different interests, but I think it's important to stay busy. I can definitely say that I feel that I am more independent and it doesn't really bother me to do things by myself. Number 3 on the list is that every country has its issues and everyone complains about their government. It's no secret that South Africa has a lot of issues with corruption and a lot of people are disappointed with how the country is being managed. But now I find myself in a first world country with one of the strongest economies in the world, relatively good free healthcare, but it's definitely not perfect. The UK also has its political, economic and social issues, and people still complain about the government here. You probably won't be able to find a country to move to that won't have some form of these issues. So just accept that no country is perfect, but also remember that every country will have its own benefits, its beauty, and what makes it unique. I've also learned that it's okay not to settle down at a certain age. Society puts these norms or expectations on where you are supposed to be at a certain time in your life. And somehow this also translates to whether or not you are successful in life. But the thing is, success and happiness looks different to everyone. And I'm here to tell you that you definitely don't need to settle down or even know where you want to end up living at a specific age. Some people like change and that can come in the form of moving around, whereas other people might just want to stay in the same house for many years, which is also totally fine. Just don't let age determine what you are allowed and not allowed to do, and don't let it keep you from exploring if that is what your heart is telling you to do. Living in another country also teaches you to be more respectful of other cultures. Personally, this wasn't really something that I needed to learn by moving abroad, because in South Africa you are already surrounded by many different cultures as it's a very diverse country. But I think still moving abroad definitely just made me realize again how special each culture is and the power of culture, how it can bond people that have never met each other just because they share the same principles and behaviors. I find the cultural differences so interesting and I've always been fascinated by it. And I think the more cultures you are exposed to, the more open-minded and understanding you become as a person. Ironically, even though I am so fascinated with cultures, I never really paid that much attention to my own culture. While living abroad, I've definitely learned to appreciate my own culture more. I think it's probably because I was always just surrounded by it. I took it for granted, and it's like I only realized how big of a role that played in my life once I wasn't surrounded by my own culture anymore. I've become a lot more curious about South African and Afrikaans history and traditions. For example, I recently did a video with my sister about South African food, and while I was filming that video, I also found out so many interesting facts about those South African dishes and where they come from. So I definitely want to put in more effort to just continue educating myself on my own background. Lastly, I've learned that we are all just human. It doesn't matter which country you're from, which culture, or which lifestyle. And I think once you realize that, you become less guarded as a person and you're more open to people from all walks of life. I hope these lessons that I've shared today were insightful and interesting to you. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a thumbs up down below to help support my channel. I really appreciate the support so much. Also, if you have any life lessons that you want to share, please feel free to add that in the comment section. It would be great to hear your stories as well. Thanks so much for watching this video, and then I will see you again next week.